Wake Up Carolina on the iCarter Talk Network.
You know, one thing we've always said that we're going to do is keep a variety of opinion. We're not going to pigeonhole ourselves into being one thing or another. When I step out of the conservative political mainstream, Rev, you have to put up with me getting chastised. I mean, people say, he ain't one of us. I mean, he's one of them. I mean, well, I'm one of a lot of things. And I wear that proudly. I don't profess to be, rigid in my political beliefs and the way I see the world. Obviously, as it comes to this economic shutdown, I am a business person. I see this shutdown as a crippler to the business community. Those who don't run a business, don't own a business, would probably have a different stance, and that's fine too. We have somebody with us this morning that I think you'll find. I know you'll find him interesting and engaging. But I want to go back and tell you a story real quick. I had two friends who thought that Brian Scott was the best football player in Darlington when I knew Orlando Hudson. Now, he went on to play professional baseball, I think 4 Gold Gloves, 2 All-Star games, came back home, and I want him to explain why he came back home here in a second. But see, that just lets you know that I had an eye for talent, even at an early age. When my buddy said Brian's the best, I said, no, Brian ain't the best player on that team. Orlando's, he's playing quarterback. Am I right?
I did play quarterback,
but
Brian was legit. He was really legit.
And went to South Carolina, had a good college football career.
Yes, sir, he did.
Had a big touchdown catch against Georgia to help them beat the Bulldogs in Athens, and I remember that well. But everybody said Brian's the player. I said, nah, Brian's a good player, but Orlando's the best football player. Went on to play baseball, and that proves he's real smart there. Football, baseball. He goes and plays baseball, so nobody beats his brains out for 6 or 8 or 10 years. But he's a local guy. He's from Darlington County. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me, man. Good to see you too.
Haven't seen you in several years.
Yes, sir.
But I want to start by asking you this. You go off and you do well in the game of Major League Baseball. That's kind of every kid's dream. Everybody wants to be a baseball player, football player, or a fireman. But you choose to not live in those great cities that you played baseball in. You chose to come back here.
Definitely.
Why?
It's home. It's home. It's roots. Born and raised. Wanted to raise my family here. I can't leave, man. Not saying that I wouldn't later on in life or whatever the case may be, but I lived so many places while I was playing. So me and my family was able to experience those, those different environments and living styles. But home is home. There's a lot of work here to be done at home.
Orlando, in my political life, I would hear people say this over and over and over again, and I want to kind of lead into this, that every kid has the same opportunity at the American dream. And I'd say, no, that's not right.
I'm glad you realized that.
I mean, my kids were raised in a solid family. My parents taught me certain things, certain values. I try to instill that in my kids. So if my kids didn't excel at trying to chase the American dream, that's their fault.
Yes.
Kids come from a lot of different places. The one thing I've always thought about public education, the teachers have to take kids as they come. Some come prepared, some don't. But you have a lot of opinions about the African-American community and the family, how important the family.
Yeah.
I want to get out of your way and let you speak why you feel compelled to speak, not necessarily against Black Lives Matter, but on the issue of race and racial equality and racial opportunity and you were a great baseball player.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I mean, had you not been great in baseball, who knows where you might end up.
Exactly.
But what motivated you to want to speak out publicly about some of the things society's trying to deal with now?
Well, first of all, let me get this straight. I'm not against Black Lives Matter. I'm not against that. There were certain things that, like I said, there are 3 things that I agree that I want to help with: our prison system, our school system, and the racial injustice, right, towards us. So now when I speak of white folks, I'm going to say you. When I speak of Black folks, I'm going to refer that as me. So I don't have to keep saying, my Caucasian brother or my African-American brother.
Sure.
So you and me, right? So I'm home. I'm loving it. This is life. This is what it is. I've been blessed, right? So today, we have issues that is totally against me. Totally. And you just said some earlier. You grew up in a great home. So you had both parents in your home, right?
I did.
I was blessed to have both parents in my home. But I know some really, really strong Black women that have raised 2 and 3 children, and their kids are awesome. See, so that's where you put that on me, right? You put that on me. Oh, when something happens, well, his daddy sold drugs. Well, his daddy did this. He don't have the proper home care. No, I know solid single moms, and there are a few solid single dads that I know. So you guys have the generational wealth. You guys have the 2-parent homes. Y'all have just as many issues as I do. Just as many. It's just swept under the rug. Every one of our issues got to be put on blast. You already look at me as an animal. Remember now, you brought me from my homeland, Africa. This is way before us. I'm going to get to now. You brought me from my homeland in Africa. You brought me from there. You stripped me from my language. You stripped me from my identity. You shackled us like we animals, like we zoo animals. You raped my women. You made us do things. You straight up distort the Bible to put slavery in it. You put all these laws against us. So you bring us across the beautiful ocean, Atlantic Ocean. You bring us across the ocean, and you put us in a country that you stole from the native people. But yet you want this land to prosper. You stole this country for the native land, for the native man, my brown people, kicked them off, kill them off, brought us over here to build your country, and you prosper off of it. Now we come to today, so you take slavery to Jim Crow to now systematic slavery. You said now since we can't put them in the cotton field, so now since we can't call them such and such words, let's design these laws. Let's make harsher punishment. Let's get free labor off of them like we did 300, 400 years ago. Let's make small petty crimes that you also do and make them harsher, longer sentences for him. But you talking about in God we trust. And then you wonder why we have so much going on. You wonder why I'm so angry. When I say me, when I say I'm talking about my African-American brothers and brown, right? So you wonder why I'm so angry. You look at me as a threat only because of my skin color. But why you ain't just leave us over there? Now you wish you can take us back. No. This is what we built. You just trying to make the money off our backs. No CEOs. You feel like we ain't good enough. For a long time, we couldn't play quarterback. Feel like we ain't smart enough. Run, jump, and throw as rap, sing, cook. That's all y'all see us as is entertainment. I'm sick of it. Totally sick of it. I can't walk in the mall. I wonder if he's going to steal. Me, my brother, or my cousin can't walk. I wonder if it's a drug deal. We can't ride together. I wonder where they're going. I got to pull him over. They look suspicious. Why do I look suspicious? Because my skin happened to be a little bit darker than yours. Now, granted, my skin a little bit darker than yours, but you lay out in the sun every day to want to look like me. Because my skin, first of all, is beautiful. It's elegant. It's soft. It glows. You want to look like me. You fool your lips like mine. You want to be built like me. You want to tan every day to get like mine, but you cannot associate with me as being a CEO, a business owner. I can't get along. If you spend 10, 15 years in prison right now, and I go off to, let's just say I go to Duke and get my associate whatever, and then go off to Harvard and get my master's and PhD. You 15 years in prison, quit school in the 10th grade. I go in, try to put a job at Coca-Cola. I go in with my 3-piece suit on, looking good. They say, well, yes, sir, Ms. Hudson, I love your resume. Duke, wow, man, Harvard, a master and PhD. Wow, okay, we'll get back with you. You go in 5 minutes right after me. You ain't completed school. Remember now, you quit school in the 10th grade. And you was in prison for 15 years for a small petty crime, right? Let's say that. You gonna get that job. It's a good chance. You gonna, 80% chance, I'll say 60 between 75, 70, 80. You gonna get that job before me because of your skin color. You born with greatness. You born with generational wealth. I'm born with 2 strikes. My mama had me with 2 strikes because I'm black. She had me with 2 strikes. So now I got to walk your streets. I got to talk a certain way. Oh, you sound so intelligent. What you mean I sound so intelligent? I'm not supposed to have an education. My grandma in them days over with, they prayed for this. I'm going to come down your street hard. You invited me on your show, I'm coming at you. So now we got all these laws against me. But you expect me to not be angry. You going to put me in prison for 25 years for an ounce of weed. You going to sit there and take less of my education. We know more about, now granted, I'm not throwing this all on you right here. We know more about white history than we do our own. because the way the curriculum of the school systems is not supposed to be designed for us. In 1950s, y'all got your own private schools because you felt like we can't sit in the same classroom as you. But now, if our sons or our daughters is good enough to play sports, then y'all invite us to your Christian academies. But just for an academic, knowledgeable, great education, you feel like, no, he or she can't come. But long as he can run, jump, and throw, do it, boy. Run, boy. That's what I'm talking about, boy.
All right, let me ask you this.
Come on, talk to me.
If we have this problem, you perceive it to be one way, other people perceive it to be a different way. And I respect that. That's why I want you on here. Yeah. And I want you to be just as candid, and I know you will be.
Yes, sir.
That's why I wanted you on here.
Yeah.
So, Orlando, if we've got a need of reconciliation and understanding, and I come from a town with no stoplight.
Yeah.
I mean, sports taught me, and my parents taught me to not judge people by their skin color.
Okay,
but I'm being dead level honest. Yeah. I have at times.
Yes,
I mean, I'm not going to lie about it. He hears me be blunt and honest.
Yeah.
So if we've got this opportunity to try and understand the different races who are living in a country together,
yes,
can we trust the government, and different organizations, or is this something that the sincerity of our heart has to try to
understand that? So you and your friends, when y'all sit in the country club drinking your doggone finest wine, eating caviar and lobster tails while your kids running around getting their BMWs and Porsches that you bought from generational wealth that they don't have to go to school because they already paid and their life is already, the road is already paved, y'all should talk about that. Don't hint around it. Talk about it. You see it. You just admitted that you see color sometimes, right?
Sure, I do.
Okay.
I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't.
I feel you.
But I do.
Okay. So you just admitted that. So why you and your buddies, when you in the country club, living in your 18,000 square foot home or whatever the case may be, driving your fancy car, why can't y'all talk about that when you see it? So basically, you a bigger problem. You expect us to handle something when we don't have the means and when you won't give us a chance at anything anyway. So why are you sitting here and you criticize us? You throw us down, you push us down. You do everything you can to keep us down. But then you and your friends who have the power to make a move and say something, knowing it's wrong, and you still won't stand up and say anything.
What responsibility, because I think this is where the conversation will get interesting. So 40% of American children are born to single parents. 75% of African American children are born to single parents. What responsibility do you perceive the African community has? In other words, I don't disagree with a lot of what you said, and I'm guilty of some of that.
Yes.
I wish I weren't. I wish like hell I wasn't guilty of some of it. But I am, and I know I am.
I know you will.
I try to be aware. I try to be introspective.
Don't try to be. You see it. You see it now. Okay, go ahead. Finish.
So what responsibility does the African American community have to itself to improve its position? When you talk about 75 or 6 or 7% of kids born are born to single parents, to talk, if you don't mind, to our listeners about what responsibilities the African community have to own and take ownership of.
Oh, we definitely do. I was going to get to that too. But when you say 75% now, remember this. When you brought us over here to this stolen country that y'all trying to make prosper, that God ain't going to let happen because you stole it from other people and had other people come and work it for you, let me tell you why. You take a family of 5. You got myself, my dad, my mom, my brother, and my sister, right? You take my youngest sister, you sell her to Virginia. You take my brother, you sell him to Mississippi. You take my mom and you sell her to North Carolina. You tore my family up right there. Right there. My African American community, we are people of love. That's what it is in Africa. Our people of love. So when we came here, we're angry. Why they had to come bring us here, right? Now I'm gonna get to your point. So you tore our family up from the jump. You did it. You sold off us like it was nothing. It take 3 of me to make one man. Orlando Hudson, you're not a man. You're a black dude. I need 2 more of you to make a man. What do you call it? The 3/5 Amendment. You got to look at me as a half of a person. And you expect me to walk around in this country. Now, this country has blessed a lot of people. Black and white, but mostly white. We know that because it catered to the white. And you expect me to walk around and be a gentle giant. You expect us not to be angry. So that number 75% started with you. You took my family away. You sold my brother. You sold my mama. You sold my sister. So nowadays, these laws here that we have against us, that let's say, for instance, I'm going back to the petty crime right quick. Let's go back to instance. We get a traffic stop. I'll just say a stop. He go in jail. He go to jail for a little bit. The kid's missing dad. Mama, where's dad? Now when he gets out, he can't get a job the way he should get. We're angry. We don't get the opportunities that you get, right? So now, as a strong parent, this black man trying to do everything he can and can't find a right fit job to take care of his wife and his kids, knowing he's smart enough. His resume says it, and they're struggling. That causes friction in a household. Finances cause friction in a household. So when this brother is sitting out here doing everything he can, and while you sitting behind your desk knowing good and well he deserves more than what he has, you rather spit on his back and give you a young white guy the opportunity to do what the brother should have gotten from the jump. Like he don't have a family to support. So when he goes home and look at his wife and kids, I can't do it. I'm trying, baby. I really am. I'm gonna try again tomorrow somewhere else. And we steady getting trampled. And you think nothing about it because you got a nice home to go to. Your kids we don't have generational wealth, man. We don't have that. We don't have the same opportunities. So when you say 75%, that's 75% starts with you. These issues start with you. Come on.
Let's just take a break. I don't want to get you got some more time?
Oh, come on,
okay,
man.
I want you to hang around a while. Let's take a break. I want to stay on schedule here as best we can. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. To me, this is very interesting. It is. I mean, it ain't what you're used to hearing, but, you know, that's what you get when you put a redneck in charge of a radio show. Back in a minute. See, we're a lot of things. We ain't scared. You know what I mean? We'll welcome voices that we know probably disagree with a lot of our listeners. Orlando Hudson, former Major League Baseball player, 4-time Gold Glove winner, 2-time All-Star, and the best football player on that football team in Darlington.
I can't really say that. Now, I appreciate you said it, but that beat Scott. Travis Burton, them boys was legit,
and
man.
here's why I know he's smart, because he had a chance to play football to baseball, and he chose baseball.
Yeah.
You know, and I was telling Orlando during the break, you know, I come from a town. I mean, I've been around racism all my life, and I've said it on the air 100,000 times. I hadn't been around a lot of hatred.
Yes, you have. You just ain't realize. Yes, you have.
See, I disagree. We just disagree there. I was around, and respectfully. I mean, we disagree there. But I want to go back, and then we'll go to the call, because I think Rujan's on the phone.
All right.
Orlando, is your frustration, is your, I don't want to say anger, is your resentment toward the white man or the man?
Just the man. I'm not going to sit there and say
explain who the man is to you.
You know who the man is. The man is the guys who allow these laws to pass. The man is the guy who stands on the front of a country and say they're a leader. The man is the guy who allow and see it and know it's happening, and they allow it to happen, and trying to reach out and give me and my black and brown people no help at all. So that's the man. So
this is not necessarily about the white man driving a 10-year-old S10.
No, because you have some white folks who are in the same position as blacks.
Correct.
You have that. That's just life, right? So you have some. But the upper echelon of white America could care less about that white person, which they call, and we all have heard this word before, and I hate using it, trailer park trash. Now, what is that to call somebody? Seriously? Just because they didn't have the same means as you. You have the same color. But see, that's where it goes. The upper echelon white folks.
The rich and powerful.
Look at even their own kind who is not like them. Worse than us sometimes.
And in America, the rich and powerful are 90%, 95% white.
And we know it. I'm glad you know that.
We know that. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Yes.
The people who make the rules that the rest of us play by.
Yes.
The rich and powerful.
No. Don't say that we play by. No. You don't have to play by those rules either. I got to play by them. My kids got to play by them. My other black and brown folks got it, but you don't. That's not even the same.
I know. Let's go to the phone. We've got a caller, and let's we'll just have a little bit of dialogue back and forth.
Rajan in Darlington joins us now. Hey, Rajan, morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Doing well, Rajan.
Great. You know, in any argument, there's a premise, you know, and a conclusion. But if your premise is flawed, your conclusion is going to be very, very flawed. And the first thing that I see is, you know, in the slave trade, you've got to be brutally honest. You've got to be brutally honest, because in the North Atlantic slave trade, no hands were clean. And if you go back and you do your history, I can't remember the name of the book, but a young man, he spent some 26 years breaking down the whole history of Africa and the African tribes. And to be honest, it was not the white man that went to Africa and stole black people from Africa. The black people themselves, the African chieftains, sold black people, sold their own brothers and sisters into slavery. And I understand, the situation about, white people own slaves. But the bottom line is, man, you got to place the anger exactly at the premise. You got to place the anger where it should be, and that's on the continent of Africa with the black man that sold another black man into slavery. Now, on that point, the key reason that African Americans are in the situation that we're in now is because in the 1950s and the 1940s, only 23% of African American children were born into one-parent families. 23%, and a good portion of that was due to the father, leaving or being killed or something like that. But now that number burst.
It is
almost 75% of African American children are born into single-parent households.
Yes,
you can have generational wealth when you're born with one parent.
Well, we can't have generational wealth either with laws that's against me.
Go ahead. Yes, we can. I mean, I'm listen, man. I'm saying, I know you.
Okay.
One of your cousins is my classmate.
Okay.
I grew up in Darlington. I have seen racism. But the problem is, it wasn't racism for white folks; it's racism for black folks. And the leaders, the leaders that you're talking about, that are keeping us in the situation that we're in, that look like us. The policies that they've established keep us enslaved to them. And I'm talking about liberal, progressive Democrats. And those that have established policies, the Great Society did nothing but destroy the black family. And the people that you're talking about, white CEOs, listen, man, white people don't stay up at night trying to figure out how they're going to keep a black man down.
I ain't say they do.
They're too busy trying to work and make sure their family's right.
I ain't say they do.
They're trying to that their kids, are taken care of. And the moment that we black people understand that we've got to take responsibility for our own, regardless of whoever it is that may be, we can blame them for whatever we want to blame them for, but it's not their responsibility. It's not their fault. It's our fault.
That's true.
It's our mindset. It's our mindset that has kept us, and we believe these lies that they're telling us about systematic racism. I spent 6 years in the United States Marine Corps, traveled all over the world. I have a master's degree. I'm a PhD candidate. I have never in my life had somebody call me the N-word. And
you ain't never had nobody call you that?
No, I'm almost 56 years old. I'm from Darlington.
I have somebody call me that, and I was at a Little League Field right there on Blue Street.
Yeah, I played them at the same, right there on Blue Street. I played the same thing, same place.
And my mama like to went crazy. Yeah. So
here's the thing.
Okay.
My mom and my dad told me that regardless of your color, it doesn't make a difference. Regardless of my color, I can do anything that I want to.
Yeah.
If I want to be president of the United States, I can be president of the United States. Nothing and nobody has, I give no man that much power over me so that he can control my life. And what's happened is other black people, the people that look like me, have decided to follow in the path, follow black leadership, the black leadership that sold us out, so they can keep getting elected and putting money in their pockets. That quote unquote talented tenth that W.B. Du Bois talked about.
Yeah.
They have screwed us royally, and they continue to screw us with policies that keep us down. They tell us stuff like, you can't get us so big. The white man ain't gonna let you get us so big, and you believe it.
Who is you?
Believe it. I'm talking about
in general. People. In general, yeah, in general.
We believe it. We believe in the soft bigotry of low achievement. You're never going to tell me that I can't do anything.
That's true.
You're never going to convince me. And here's the other part of it. When you approach things from an emotional standpoint, you're going to have a problem.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to tell you what. happened to black men in America. When you've got 75% of African American men being raised by women, their approach is going to be different.
Of course.
That mom is the primary individual that's teaching that child.
Of course.
You don't have a man tell a boy how he needs to do things. You don't have a man there to tell him he needs to look at things objectively. You don't have a man there to tell him, listen, son, you need to think this through.
Yeah, we got that. Okay.
What you've got is a situation where that man is going to react the same way he sees his mother reacts. And that's from an emotional point of view. And you add testosterone and emotion, and you have a problem. You have a real problem.
Yeah. Rujan, appreciate the call, man.
Appreciate it.
This is one of the most interesting back and forth because I've never, ever in a million, and somebody knocked me out of the chair if I say it, I know what it's like to be a black man because I don't.
You don't.
I don't. And I don't profess to understand what it's like. I know what it's like to be a country boy from Pamplico.
Yeah, y'all should do it sometimes.
Orlando, the reason I wanted you on here is because I'm trying to understand this. Yes. I want to make it better. I don't want to divide this country. Okay. I got no interest.
Well, you want to make it better, right?
Sure.
You just said that, and I appreciate it. So how many of you
guys...
And I
think you believe that.
Yes, I do.
I think you really believe that.
But I want to believe, and I want to see it because we can't do this alone now.
Let me ask you, but I want to ask you a question because I think Rujan brings an interesting point. I'm a former politician. I was a Republican lieutenant governor.
Yep.
I got 8% of the vote. I felt I deserved more than 8%. I did. I mean, I'm being as honest. I said, damn it, some of these African-American voters need to vote for me because I understand this world. I come from a very rural, humble place, and my whole life was around African-Americans on the farm,
but
playing
we don't know
ball.
That. They didn't know that. Okay, this generation, this people didn't know that.
Here's what I'm asking you.
Okay.
As a former Republican office holder who really believes the party's better if more African Americans are voting Republican and trying to understand what the Republican Party's brand need. What advice would you give to the Republican Party?
Well, a lot of our African Americans are going to vote. They're going to vote Democrat.
Okay,
but I understand where you're coming from. So, and I see where you're coming from, and you feel like my man Dijon just said. You're emotional right there. You didn't get as many votes as you have. First of all, a lot of us don't vote because we feel like our vote don't count. We feel like because we already a fourth-class citizen in this country is what we're seen as, right? So I respect and I heard what Rujan just said. And I respect that. But when we're absolutely peed on and slapped and spit on and kicked down so much, we feel like, well, what is it? How is it going to change for me if I vote for him? If I vote Republican, what is it really going to change for me? How is it really going to affect my situation? Is it really going to affect that my mom going to get a better job? And can my little brother eat a little more? Is my sisters, are we going to really get out of what y'all call the projects, which y'all put that name on it too? The projects is, am I going to sleep a little better? So why would I waste my time to go vote? They going to do nothing, but it's not going to count regardless. Trump shouldn't have won, a few years ago election, right? He admitted that the numbers were rigged. He said this dude stood on national TV and said the system is rigged. You think Obama could have done that? He'd have been hung in the White House.
But think of this, Orlando. When Trump got elected, the majority of people who elected Trump were voting against the man, not against the white man, but against the man, and they saw in him someone who would upset the apple cart. So the underbelly of white society, the ones you called it, and I've heard it all my life, trailer trash.
Yeah,
you got to be careful, son. That's trailer trash.
Yeah, man.
But what I'm trying to do is be honest and open and candid and talk about things in a way that most people aren't comfortable. Because I believe the only way we deal with race in America is to be candid and open and honest about it. And I'll tell you the danger you get. You're a public person. Yeah. I'm sort of a public person.
You are.
If we open our mouth and start talking about race.
So why don't you do it?
Well, I do. I do a lot. I mean, I really and truly, I try my damnest to understand it. And but what I've got to do is be candid and honest with you and others about I am at times racist.
Yeah.
I mean, I am. I know I am.
You know you are.
But I am introspective about it. What I think America needs to do is understand that, okay, there's nothing I can do to undo anything about slavery.
No,
I can try and understand it.
No, yeah.
But I don't think you believe, and I don't put words in, you don't believe there's white people out there today who believe slavery was okay. I mean, do you think there's
Yes, there are some that believe that. You got some old schools that believe that we should still be in bondage right now. That's for sure. I'm not going to sit there and say, I'm not going to sugarcoat that.
But I think you would agree the overwhelming majority of white people find slavery morally reprehensible, disgusting.
Most likely,
absolutely disgusting. Okay, if we agree that was something we should all be ashamed of, we should have never had been a part of it. As Rujan said, there's dirt on everybody's hands in that deal.
Yeah.
How do we start today?
The way you talking about it right now.
To try and make better.
The way you talking about it right now, you can also form a rally. Now, you got some high, powerful friends. You do. You got some
one of them?
Oh, shucks. Oh, man. You got some high, I'm not white. Let's put it, some high, powerful white friends. That voices can be heard. So you admitting that you know the way the system is, you admitting that you somewhat was racist and hate that it was like that, right?
Sure.
Okay. But you also see the situations against my black and brown people, right? You see it, right?
I do.
So your voice can be heard. You got tons of viewers on this radio every morning. If you think you can't go down to Florence and march on Main Street with your voice, there'll be a lot of black folks behind you because we need a voice like yours. We feel like we're not heard. So if you stand up and say something, because we need your help. Just me and my black and brown folks just can't do it. Remember now, we're seen as animals.
See, but Orlando, you're saying that you're seen as let's do this. You got more time?
Yeah.
Let's take a break.
I want to take my son to practice 10 o'clock.
Okay, we got to take some bills.
Yeah.
The life of a former League Major Baseball player. So you get some luxuries and perks when you pay the price. Let's take a break. We'll be back in just a second. Former Major League Baseball player and troublemaker Orlando Hudson is with us this morning. So two troublemakers here together. But I asked him on. I knew he'd say some things that got the ire up of our listeners. And I'm, if you're not big enough for that, find another station to listen to.
That's what I see.
And come back tomorrow. But I want to ask you this. I've got a problem with Black Lives Matter, not because they're representing the interest of black people. I think they're anarchist and Marxist. you said you weren't going to wear a BLM shirt.
And it goes
Explain yourself there.
Yeah, and it goes deeper than just the slogan. That Black Lives Matter, Karl Marx back in the 19th century, that the German philosopher, and I'm gonna let that, and Miss Alicia, Miss Opal, and Miss Patrice, they doing some great things with Black Lives Matter. That's who founded it. I think 2013 or 14 after Trayvon Martin was killed and all that. So so I didn't speak on a lot last night. So I know a lot of history about that. So I got a lot of my own black people are mad because I'm not wearing the shirt. We have deeper issues than just me wearing the shirt. I respect what they're doing. A lot of folks. So I respect some of the things they're doing. My life and other black and brown lives do matter. But it also said all killings, not just with racial injustice, not with just when the white cops kill us. So we have a lot of racial injustice. And we were just talking about that earlier, how we're seen as differently, very differently than you. And you know that, right? So we see that. So I'm not wearing the shirt. But just wearing the shirt is just wearing the shirt. So I talked about that enough last night. So I'm not on here to talk about me not wearing the shirt, right? Because I want to talk about it because I'm an African-American man and you are a Caucasian guy. So by me not wearing the black light, why don't you wear one? You see the same justice system.
If it weren't a representation of Marxist government,
I understand that.
I would probably
exactly. I understand that. See, I wasn't gonna say that to what I was talking to yesterday.
Sure.
Because I wasn't gonna. Then they get even deeper and it caused more and more why people even mad now at me. So
2 minutes. You didn't come on here to argue for an hour. There's an end game. You want to get to a better place.
Yeah.
What do you want to see happen? What does Orlando Hudson want to be involved in to improve race relations and the plight of African Americans?
Yes, I want to be involved in. We got to push forward the laws. We have to change the laws towards us. I want you guys
criminal reform.
Criminal reform, yes. And when I say you guys, remember now, it's not coming off racist. I'm saying as my Caucasian brothers. So I want to see you guys stand with us. I want to see you guys stand in front with us. I want to see you guys open up conversations. I want to know that you guys are at home talking with your kids or talking with other powerful white folks who have a voice, who got the means and who can say anything to sit there and stand for one of us and stand with us instead of continuously watching it and understanding and seeing it and not saying anything. So yes, we have to take some responsibility too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not putting it all on you guys. But remember now, this is a system that the wealthy whites reformed against us. Remember that now. They formed this against me for years to come and trying to keep it in play. But you see it. Your wealthy friends see it. So you can also make a march and make a stand and call some blacks together and say, let's do this thing together. That's the only way we're going to make it. It's together. Because if I take 1 million black voices up there, though they will hear us, we're a threat. Then the National Guard comes out. Who knows? The water hoses might come out. I don't know. But if you take 5 whites up there with a voice like yours, y'all gonna sit around the table.
And what we're going to try to do, or what I'm going to pledge to do, is try to understand how we can be a part of making it better. I don't want to wake up every day mad at black people and black people mad at white people. I mean, that's not, guys, I'm telling you, at the end of the day, we'll all pay a price.
We all pay a price. Yes, exactly.
And our lives will be less served, and peace and harmony will be less frequent. So I applaud you.
Thank you.
I mean, I agree with some of what you said. I disagree with some of what you said, but I knew I would when you came on.
Yeah.
But we're going to follow up, and we're going to try to stay in touch and communicate back and forth.
We definitely will.
And look, we can't change the world here, but we can change our little part of the world.
We can change our little part of the world, and that voice can start with you now. So I want you to have conversations with your wealthy, powerful Caucasian brothers over there that you see it.
You've got most of them heard you for the last hour.
Okay.
So you know.
Okay, good.
Because I've had 3 or 4 texts about you there.
Okay, good.
Absolutely. We'll take a break. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Good seeing you again. We'll be back in just a minute.
Wake Up Carolina on the iCarrier Talk Network.